Good evening. It's Share Love with Shante. Today we have our special guest, Melanated Glow. Alright, so today's topic is going to be Black Excellence, and we're going to do a little tribute for Mother's Day. Okay? So first I'm going to have Miss Melanated Glow formally introduce herself to you all.
Greetings, everyone. So I go by Melanated Glow. I do poetry, I do spoken word. I also have a business. It's all about healing our people from head to soul. So everything that I do, I'm also a teacher. So everything I do is about our people, for our culture, healing, especially mind, body, and soul being one. Everything that's on that African mindset and that African vibration. So yeah, pro-black and all that good stuff.
So, Melanated Glow, we're really honored to have you here at Live Life Studios, and especially here on Share Love with Shante. I have a couple questions. I wanted you to basically, what inspired you to become a teacher? And, how was that journey?
Very interesting. So first of all, I started off being an engineer. I went to school for computer and electrical engineering. Always been pro-black, FAMU, where them rattlers at, So I went to school at FAM, and I graduated with engineering. I worked as a consultant. I did some work there. I worked out in Detroit, Chicago, did different things there, and then I came back home, which I'm from South Florida, originally from Miami. Thought I wouldn't ever come back home. You know how you say, I will never come back, I will never come back.
Of course.
Life makes you come back to the same place that you said that you would never come back to. And so when I came back home, it was hard to find an engineering job. I'm not bilingual. And so it was very difficult to try to find my place in that. And so I just started thinking about what I love to do. And when I was in college, I was always the tutor. Everybody always came to my house for like the group sessions and getting those high scores on the test, and it just comes so natural for me. And my experience is a little bit different because I did dual enrollment when I was in high school. So I did some stuff at Miami-Dade, and I graduated with an associate. So when I went to FAM, I already had an associate, and I had a full ride. I was a NASA scholar. I did internships, and I just sat there and I thought about it, and I was like, I want to pay it forward. Like, I want a child to be better than me. I know that my opportunity came because of conversation. So I wanted someone to have somebody in their corner that their parents might not know about these different opportunities, but somebody was there to push them further than where they can go. So I said I wanted to make children better than me.
Of course.
So if I can get a group of them to just excel, then, that's what I do it for.
I love it. I love it. I'm so all about that, uplifting our community, uplifting our kind. It's big. Because if we know that, well, at least I notice, I'm sure you do as well, a lot of other races and ethnicities and groups, they stick together. And
100%.
Unfortunately, I notice that we don't always stick together.
By design.
And I just wish, and I pray all the time, that one of these days we'll get to a point where love will take over completely and we'll be able to see the bigger picture. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
absolutely.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Salute to all of the teachers out there, the nurses, everyone who's a scholar and an educator who takes the time out of their day to help someone who's younger than them that has inspirations to be someone successful. Bless you all. So I also wanted to know from you, so you consider yourself a Black activist?
I do.
Would you say? Okay.
I do.
And what started that for you? Because that's something that I feel like that's an area in our community that's kind of like dissipated. It was once something really strong, with Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and even after them. We had a lot of individuals who took being a Black activist very serious and wanted the community to know who they were because they wanted the community to know that they stood up for their community. So what makes you in this generation and time now so, stay so strong about being a Black activist and wanting to help others to see what you see?
I think it all comes with an awakening. It's in the mind.
Okay.
So when you realize things for what it truly is, and you're not seeing it for the facade, that it's an illusion that gets placed in front of us.
Of course.
You look at everything different. You look at our children different. You look at the education. Even being a teacher, I look at the education system different.
Of course.
Because once you realize, and it's so interesting, I was just talking to my friend about this, how in the beginning, like, the students would say, what am I learning this for? What's the purpose of this? You know, and after you get about 10 years, the kids ask you the same questions, you start thinking about it a little bit differently.
Right.
Like, why are we learning this? And to what level are we learning this? And I just was exposed, Brother Son loves Dr. Amos Wilson.
Of course.
And it's a book that he wrote about our children and educating our children and how our children they come here so equipped with so much potential, and then over time it just dissipates. Like we're now while we're up here, something that will take a child 2 months for our children, our melanated children, to be able to do. It'll take the other races 9 months, right? So you're dealing with a big gap, but you can catch on just like this. So what happens over time? You know, and that's the other things that come into play. So after reading, after realizing things for what it is, it's no way that I can't be for our people. I can't want to see for our people.
Of course.
But to speak on the ones that didn't make it, the reason why back activism is not so, I guess, in front of the camera, because I feel like there's a lot of us out here.
Of course.
But we get killed.
Right.
They kill us.
Right.
So,
right.
I'm not going to go and say, oh, hashtag black activists come for me. I'm going to die today. Like, I'm not doing it.
Of course.
So we just have to do things a little different. And we have to realize things for what it is. And then we have to push forward in the ways that we can. And it all starts with self. And then those that are immediately around us. And then those that we can be able to touch.
Of course.
So as long as we're educating them, letting them know what they can be, encouraging our children so they can be able to see, and encouraging other adults so they can be able to see through certain things. Because a lot of things that we inherit is something that we had a mindset inherited from slavery when we were in bondage and things like that. And we use those things to determine our next step. How can we ever escape?
I know. And you know, it's interesting that you mentioned the fact that we used it during slavery, because I was watching that documentary of Michelle Obama. Did you get a chance to see it?
I haven't.
Well, it was interesting. I really, really became attracted to a statement she made in regards to, we don't have to always sit back and wait for someone to speak on our behalf. Speak on your own behalf. Like, make yourself stand up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Even if you're in a room with all Caucasians, Indians, and you're the only African American, don't allow yourself to feel self-defeated or less than. Feel like you're one of them and you deserve to be there as well. So
it's the fear, right? It's the fear that we inherited. We were never fearful people.
and that's the thing. It's you know, like you mentioned, slavery. So that's interesting. I love that you said that. That's amazing. And what is it like in Miami? Because you know, up here in West Palm Beach, we have a lot of violence, but at least for me, being from New York, living here in West Palm, I always kind of hear about like everything being to the 10th power down that way. What is that like being a teacher in Miami? And
I just want to say I'm a Broward teacher.
I've
always taught in Broward because Miami wouldn't hire me.
Okay.
But I'm born and raised in Miami, so I'll speak a little bit on both because Broward and Miami is different. Just like West Palm Beach is different. It's a different vibration. Once you cross those county lines, you feel the difference in the energy. Like,
you do. From the way the cars are driving, from the way the highway feels, everything. I agree.
I always say it, but when I had to dance. So in school, it's like your juke is even different. Like everything about it, it's a little different. But the further you get south, it's just a different vibration. Like when you're dealing with Broward and teaching in Broward, they're a lot more calm than Dade County. I would say that definitely when it comes to Miami, we do have a lot of violence. I feel like everything is by design though.
Of course.
Like when you look at how the fact that it's called a project.
Of course.
And they put people in there.
Right.
And first it was all tested on mice to see their interaction. So they already knew what they was going to get as a result of it.
Of course.
I feel like teaching down south, A lot of people, when I say I'm a teacher of I'm a high school teacher, they're like, oh my gosh, you have so much patience.
Yes,
but
that's a hard job.
But the truth of the matter is, I love my students. Children are children everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they just need attention. Sometimes they just need somebody to listen to them.
Right.
They're still learning and they know that. But they also need to respect you. In order for them to respect you, you need to respect them.
Of course.
So it all depends on how you approach anybody.
Of course.
It doesn't matter who you are in the streets. That's
Right.
the reason why I never was a fearful person. I'll go to any part of Miami.
That's right.
I go to any part of the world, and it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter if it's international, if it's local, because we are people and we're spirits and we're energy,
Mm-hmm.
and we feel on it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you feel this energy is here to help you, or whatever the case may be, you're not going to respond in a different way. So my children always excel in the tests and whatever I put in front of them, because they knew I was there to love them through it, and I never compared them to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So you do better than what you did yesterday. You don't compare yourself to that one over there, because
Right.
everybody has strengths and everybody has weaknesses, and for some reason these children feel like they can't make a mistake. These children feel like their parents never made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like if they make a mistake and they tell someone, that they're going to get condemned for it.
Mm-hmm.
And once they realize that it's not that, and they can feel free and they can feel whole,
Mm-hmm.
you can do anything with them.
Of
Once you know
course.
that they believe, once they know that you believe in them,
Mm-hmm.
they move for you. I don't call parents. Parents call me.
Right.
Because my relationship is with the child that I see every day. I don't know you.
Right.
But this is the one I see every day, or
Of
every
course,
other day.
of
Unfortunately,
course.
it's distance learning now, so it's a different vibration.
It's
but
different. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay. And for the community, being that you are a scholar and an educator, what do you feel that as African Americans we could do to help better the community? Like, for me, I think one aspect of helping us uplift our community is let's spend our money within our own. Almost everyone that you may know, or someone you know that may know somebody, has a business that may include things that you need or things that you constantly buy, just as any other big franchise. So for me, that's one of the ways I feel that we could help pour into our community, uplift our community. What's your take on that?
I definitely agree with you.
Mhm.
I feel as though we need to put in our own businesses. Of course, I love when people support me.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've noticed is having my business is the fact that the type of people that you attract, right?
Yes.
So I feel like it starts with self. I think everything starts with self. Because once you have that mindset that you're mindful of what goes on your skin,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to realize you don't want to buy anything from those big businesses, those big box stores. Because when you look at the ingredients on them, you realize that this is not for me, this is not helping me, and all it's doing is coating my skin, and it's not healing it, it's not making it smooth, it's not making it glow, it's not doing what it's supposed to do.
Right.
And so now the organ that accomplishes 75% of our body,
Mm-hmm.
now that is being compromised because I'm using your product, which was never made for me.
Right.
So as a result of that, where do you go? You go to someone who looks like you, because now you're
Right.
creating something for you. Like everything I create for my line, I created for me first, or
Of
someone who's very
course.
close to me.
Of
So of course, if I'm making it for me, that means it's going to be 100% natural.
Of
Meaning when you
course.
put it on your skin, it's going to do the same thing.
Right.
So when you have that mindset of you wanting to make sure that your shampoos don't have chemicals in it, including
Sulfate.
perfume.
Right.
Because all of those things are so, when you realize what perms do and the calcium deposits that it leaves inside of your brain, then you stop perming your hair.
Mhm.
When you realize that weeds are doing nothing but suffocating your antennas that's connecting you to the universe, you stop doing those things.
Mm-hmm.
When you realize the food that you're eating from McDonald's or those other commercial stores, that they're GMO based and they're not
Mhm.
real, then you start caring about your body and what you're putting inside of it, and then you'll go to a vegan restaurant or support the Rastas and the ones who's been doing it all of this time and learning
Yes.
those things.
Speak the truth,
So
girl.
I feel like it comes in the journey.
Mhm.
Like I know we want to say just buy black, but
Right.
the reason why you're not buying black is a mindset.
It's true.
It's a
true.
thought process.
It's a mindset. It's terrible.
You're caught in the matrix.
Mhm.
This is where I gotta go get my food. Why are we guarding me?
Right.
When we get something that has seeds, while we plant it, that's an experience that you can have with your children.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing it grow, seeing that it takes time. These children think things come like this.
Right.
But it takes time for things to grow. It takes time for things to mature. It's a season for everything. It's a season that you plant. It's a season that you harvest.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get the weeds out. All of these things relate to our life because we are nature.
Exactly.
So when we start infusing those things inside of us, and we realize who we are, then it starts to permeate out. Then we start supporting Black businesses because we know that they made it for us.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Now, I have someone who's going to call in because I think that's wonderful. And, you know, he's a very big Black activist as well. He's always spewing and promoting positivity and kindness and, you know, wanting to see better for our community. But I really love that you said that it starts with self, because it definitely does. And this is him now.
Yay!
So we have William Polynice, who is calling in now to also give us his take on ways that we can help to uplift our own Black community and his take on that. William?
Hey, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good.
Awesome. So the question was basically, what is your take and your views on ways to help uplift our Black community?
Good question. I just love the question. Well, I inspire every day. There's always different ways, you know, to uplift people. I would say pretty much.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, here we go.
Can you hear me now? Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's okay. We're having a little connection problem. We can hear you now. We've got you loud and clear on live, sweetheart.
Okay, good. I was saying that a way to help each other, you know, as in the Black community. One thing, like I always do, as in my opinion, as for me to, you know, as helping others, I always, you know, inspire others and always uplift others. So that's something I always do 24/7. And so it's like, so for me, the way, for me to answer that question, that would be pretty much helping each other and looking out for each other. Because right now, as this community right now, with the, you know, the Black community, it's hard, and a lot of people is trying to, you know, get out there, pretty much do what they have to do. And the way I see it is that we got to help each other. We got to, you know, motivate each other, fight. We got to push. We got to handle back at something, you know, that you're sitting on. And you got to go forward, you know, if that makes sense.
Of course, of course. Now, Melanated Glow is here with us, and she answered the same question as well. And she mentioned that, you know, a lot of it starts with self. Would you agree that the way in which we conduct ourselves has a lot to do with how we react to and assist those in our community?
Of course, and I definitely do agree with her. I definitely agree. It is the way we, you know, actually, you know, like thing, because that is.
Right.
So that's like, you know, one thing I know with the Black community, and my community, there's, you know, things like that. And for me, I think it's very important that you do need to actually work on yourself and actually, you know, because customer service is a big thing. If you don't have no customer service, then there's no clientele, you know what I mean?
Of course.
So it's like, you gotta really pretty much brand yourself the right way, carry yourself the right way, pretty much, you know, making sure that you're not pretty much coming out as a bad person or anything. Because a lot of people, when they do, they don't focus on themselves. They don't focus where they're wrong at. They don't focus where they see the wrong at. They're all about, okay, I'm just going to get it done. But it's pretty much actually focus on yourself and actually, you know, see where you're wrong at. yourself, actually learning from mistakes, you know, so it's like, I definitely go through that. I definitely do. That's
Absolutely. Thank you. And William, I want to thank you so much for calling in and giving us your knowledge on ways to help uplift our community and ways to remain positive and be there for the children who are part of our future. Thank you so much for calling in. We hope to hear from you again soon. And have a blessed day, okay?
All right, you did a thing, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk.
Of course. Thank you.
Have a blessed night.
Right. You know, it's so wonderful to hear so many of, I don't want to say the elders, but the young generation coming up now, to hear their take on being proactive. It's beautiful because once upon a time people weren't so confident to be themselves, and they weren't so confident to feel so strongly about being able to stand up for their people, you know? It's beautiful.
I think it's in the youth. A lot of it is in the youth. I get a lot of my strength being a teacher from the youth. So I went to Chicago for the Taste of Chicago a few years back. And I went for the Taste of Chicago. Next thing you know, I see people protesting. So my spirit just said, me join the protesters.
Right.
All the protesters, you know, we laying in the street. We going in, they say we're going to meet the next morning at a certain spot. So I'm like, forget this vacation. I'm going to be with my people.
Right.
And it was just a beautiful thing to see that it was led by young people.
Right.
There were young people
Right.
that was leading this charge because they realized what it is. But it's the youth that see. They see further than the older ones can.
That's right.
So we're here to support them.
Right.
So they support their vision because they can see. They're not affected by all of the different subliminal things that was placed along the way. They see past those things.
Of course.
Yeah.
Now, you know, just to kind of get away from with just our community, I'm not sure if you've been updated on it or not, but there's been a lot of controversy and a lot of negativity going on with the rise of domestic violence and the rise of child abuse since this pandemic has taken place. Now that you are an educator and a very positive spirit, I mean, I kind of can figure out why this is happening, but what kind of a solution do you think we could come up with to help these children and to help these women and men who are being, you know, placed in very compromising situations?
Okay, so I think the root of the issue has to be addressed to be able to come up with a solution. So as an educator, you know, we've had like different meetings where, like some school for some children, that's their safe haven. That's the way to get away from some of those things. And we're very, very aware of that.
Of course.
This is the place that they come so that they can be able to be free, so they can be able to experience, so they can have a good time. Some of them stay in after school activities just because they don't want to go home. You know, they come to school early just because they're trying to get away from here. You know, so it's all about energy in my opinion. It's energy. It's energy that created the child, right? It's energy that allowed the woman to stay there, right? It's energy that have the man to act that way. Because most of the time it's a male against female. It's the man that's showing that thing. But the energy of the man being so violent also comes from society.
Of course.
So there's so many different levels to it. As for what we can do to get out of it, we have to realize that it's time. I want to take it back to Ike and Tina.
Right.
You know? When you allow things to happen,
that's right.
You'll continue to allow things to happen. Things get worse and worse and worse. You know, and you have a child, it winds up going into the child, and it still doesn't change you to make anything better. You still feel like you're stuck. It goes back to that fear. I don't have an option. I just know where I can go. There's nothing that I can be able to do. But there very well is. And it's a mindset.
Of course.
Because at the end of the day, you're still there, or you were there during this pandemic because you You felt like it was the best that you can do. It was a mindset that kept you there.
Mm-hmm.
So all we can do, in my opinion, is hope that they see.
Yes.
Something has to break. So nothing changed trajectory unless it hits something.
Of course.
The ball's not going to go the other way unless it hits something. So if I throw a ball, it's just going to keep on going that way until it stops.
Of course.
But if it hits a wall, then it'll change trajectory.
Of course.
And this needs to change trajectory.
Of
But
course.
what does it take?
That's
For some,
that's
what
the
does it
question
take?
because
And each individual is different because each individual is a different energy. Each
That's
individual
right.
has a different experience that got them to that point.
right.
So yeah, we can hope for them, but I know you know of stories where people came and said, "I'm trying to run away from him," and then next thing you know, you're back with the man that I said that saved you from.
Right.
But you go right back to him, and now I hate him, he hate
He
me.
hates me.
But you right back there, so now I can't even come visit you no more. You know what I mean?
Show's
Because
over.
yeah, because he knows that I will take you in.
Of course.
So you have to be done when you say you're done.
Of course.
And if each individual has to hit that wall, they have to
Of
hit
course.
that bottom. And hopefully this pandemic is showing them that you can't change anybody.
Of course. Of
All you can
course.
do is make the best decision for you and the child. For you
Of
to even
course.
have a child in this situation means that you went through it
Mhm.
during your pregnancy and all, and you still brought the child into the house.
Yeah.
You still did.
It's
So
true.
none of those things made you change trajectories. None of those things made you change your mind. None of those things made you escape.
It's true.
So what will it take?
It's true.
So sometimes, especially like us as black people,
As much as you
everything
wanna
always
help
come back to
and-
black people.
Right.
I just want to say everything come back to us. How much are we going to take of
Right.
getting shot and killed? I mean,
Right.
the statistics show that last year, cops killed more black people than we did in the year of lynching.
No way.
Absolutely.
I didn't get to see those statistics.
Yes.
That's
So how much are we going to take to be like,
Right.
oh, kill them? I mean, obviously, the system's not helping
Right,
us, but
right.
we look at the facts.
Right.
So in general, it's the same thing. How much are we going to take
Of course.
until we decide to change the trajectory?
Of course. You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? How much are you going to take before you decide enough is enough? Or when is it going to be the time for us to have a change? When are you going to think differently, act differently, respond differently? These are all of the things amongst many others, but these are some of the first steps that we need to take as a whole, as a community, to help one another, to help our family, to help our children who are the future, and to help the world even to see things in a better light. And you all know my philosophy: love conquers all, always and forever.
And I do want to add that our mental energy is enough.
Yes.
Because everything that manifests starts in the mind.
That's absolutely right.
So we are
And
all
when you
mindful.
believe.
And we right. So we all have an energy that says that enough is enough.
That's
Watch
right.
how things just miraculously change.
Change.
Just like that.
Change. I mean, look at how fast they said, I mean, originally even with the pandemic, they were saying, oh, you can go out, just stay 6 feet away from each other. You don't have, it's not required to wear a mask. Now, in the beginning, sweetheart, I was still working. I said to myself, I'm wearing a mask. You got me messed up. I got 2 kids at home. I'm around elderly people. I don't know what their condition is going to be. Literally a week later, everything changed because everyone was so fearful.
Yes.
That now if you stood 6 feet or even 4 or 5 feet away from somebody, if they were breathing and a little particle of their breath got on you, you could possibly catch COVID-19 or Corona and be infected. So yeah, I agree. It takes
Just the mind.
a bunch of people to change their mindset
That's
to
it.
really make a difference.
That's it.
And I hope that everyone was able to receive that message today, because mindset and mental health is so important in order for you to be able to make great decisions in your life, in order for you to be able to help yourself and others. Okay, so I really, really love this. This was wonderful. It felt so good, and I really appreciate your response and your feedback, your insight, your intellect. Good grief! I mean, you're amazing.
You're amazing. I want to thank you so much for having me. I just want to thank you for the space for the podcast.
Yes,
So yeah, this is just amazing. I give thanks for the opportunity.
Yes. Yes, we're all about positive vibes, positive energy here at Live Life Studio. You know, share love with Shante. It's share love with Shante. So I love to share love. I love positivity. Let's be in a good mood, have a good time. But it is Mother's Day weekend. And we have a lot of wonderful moms out here. Do you have a special message that you'd like to say to the moms before we get ready to exit?
Okay, see, I was planning on doing a piece, but my piece was more about Black power than. Okay. So, but it's nothing like your mother. I do want to speak on just the Black woman, because we are the givers of life. We give so much of ourselves, and that sometimes we forget about ourselves because we give of ourselves.
Of course.
You know, sometimes we try to think about the best situation. That's why we get in those domestic violence situations, because we think that this man can be able to do something that can be able to enhance. We love you.
Yes.
You're absolutely loved. Black women, we love you. Melanated women, all women, we love you. You're bringers of life. You're givers of life. Just make sure you are taking care of yourself, that you're getting some self-love. And it's so unfortunate that sometimes it's only in one day that you get this, 2 days, your birthday and Mother's Day, right? Those are 2 days you usually get that love, but you should get love all of the time, because your wellness determines the wellness of the household.
Yes.
If you're mentally together, the house is
together.
If you are in a positive mood, the house is in a positive mood. If you're in a bad mood, everybody having a bad day. Everybody having a bad day. The kids don't even know why they're mad.
And the food is going to taste horrible.
Right, because there's no love going into it. So going back to love.
Yes.
Share love. Be love. We are love.
Yes.
And so I love you. All of the mothers, I love you. And the more you bring out, the more love you bring into the universe. Yes!
Yes, happy Mother's Day, mothers. I hope everyone gets a wonderful present, and not a cheap one either, something a little expensive this year. I hope that all of the children have made all of you wonderful presents and cards, because I know mine did. And, you know, we want to hope that we're blessed and fortunate enough to experience Mother's Day all over again next year. But don't allow this day to make you feel like this is the only day to feel special. You know, feel special every day and love on your children every day as well, because they learn from you in order to love you back. Okay? So to close the show today, Miss Melanated Glow is going to do one of her wonderful Black Excellent Poet pieces. I'm so excited. I know that everyone viewing is going to totally enjoy it. She's literally magnificent. I mean, if there was, if spirit, positive energy, uplifting moments and happiness were all compiled into one person, here she is. And here is her piece.
I give thanks. This piece is called Social. We're a social people, meant to socialize with one another. They use that to commercialize and privatize our culture, individualize our communities, and dictate that land is considered property. They found a way to separate our oneness, discombobulate our unity. When we operate outside of our natural character, we allow society to predict our ability and set goals from an altered reality, disconnecting truth from fiction to escape the mental prison with a foundation built from grade school children, ensuring successful integration into the current system, designed to make sure the darker beings are the victims, subscribing them to a lifetime of symptoms initiated by the symbols subliminals that we are emaciated with each day. And so we pray, or we're prey. The words we say carry weight. Homophones affect the chromosomes created to respond a certain way. Gravitational pull coming from the less known, invigorating our connected state. They need satellites to see what our spirits have known ancestrally for so long. It's why our antennas are coily and so strong. And our skin is melanated to withstand the hot sun. Ethiopia meaning the burnt one. Ethiopia, the name where Africa was one. When we operated as a unit and our minds were one. We didn't sell each other off. That's another lie that was told. We are indigenous to the land with the African genome, made to live on alkaline sustenance so that way we live long. But they forced us to eat meat for so long until our minds were gone. Unplugged, reprogrammed, then reconnected. We're getting affected by the many years we've been disconnected from our familiar morals and ethics. All of the Maya laws being observed, respected, and protected. We live together as one people, one blood, one land, one love, as below, so above. We are that which was, and we know that because we're connected.
Yes! That was amazing! Thank you, I love you so much. Seriously, I'm
DJ Trump and Drop all the money to
thank you. I know where people started.
Thank you, mama, for the 9 months you got me through. All those pain and suffering. No one knows the pressure you live with, just down to you.
I love this song.
Give you all my love. Hey, mama. Hi, mama. Thank you, mama, for the 9 months you carried me through. All those pain and suffering. No one knows the pressure you live just down to you. Give you all my love, yeah. Thank you, mama, for the 9 months you carried me through. All those pain and suffering. No one knows the pressure you live just down to you. It's my words and my tongue. Mama, I will never let you down. I'll never go away. I'll always be around. You know what you do with such love that you have. I'm always gonna let you wear that crown. You grow for sometimes. You maintain your mojo with your own hand.
Right.